Hey everyone, I'm Victoria. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my second video and it's about moving to Canada. One, I'm going to talk about why I moved in the first place. Two, what I like. Three, what I don't like, and other things in between. Now, before I get started, this video is solely based on my personal experience and opinions living in Vancouver for 1 year. If you disagree with anything that I've listed in this video, please go and make your own video. Okay, so let's get started. Number one, I have my script right here. Number one, moving to Vancouver. Why did I move to Vancouver? So there are a couple reasons why I moved to Vancouver. Number one, before I was working remotely for a company that was in Canada, and I got the chance to go to like a work office Christmas party. You know, we gonna turn up on a Christmas party, respectfully and professionally. And I went to Vancouver for the first time with one of my coworkers who was from Mexico and some of my other coworkers from Mexico that also work remotely while I was also working from Jamaica for that company. And I liked it. I liked being in that place. I had traveled to the US as a kid growing up because I have family in the US. So I've been to like New York, Florida, other states and places. And America is just at this time for me, in this point of my life, it's just not really looking like a place that I'm running to be a citizen for. America is a powerhouse country, definitely. However, it's just not a place that I see myself at this point in my life wanting to run to live there at all. And so going to Canada, it was like a breath of fresh air. And two, like when you watch those apocalypse movies and The Handmaiden, Canada is always a safe haven, okay? I don't care if it's art imitating life or life imitating art. Canada is always a safe space. Zombie apocalypse, Handmaiden Tale, I Am Legend, which is also zombie apocalypse, and any other alien iceberg thing that happens, Canada is always the safest place to be, right? So I mean, again, with the way that 2023 is working right now, I want to make sure I'm on the right side of the fence, okay? So another reason is, you know, while I was traveling there, I was in a relationship. I've gotten in a relationship with somebody that I, right now in this point of my life, feel very passionately about and would like to, you know, spend the rest of my life with. And so this person also came to visit me. We had like a back and forth, and then we decided, okay, we're gonna move in together. And so that really pushed me forward to go into it. And of course, it wasn't just like, I'm just gonna make up my mind and move. It was like a lot of consideration, a lot of very hard conversations, and a lot of prayer. And I have to say, like, moving here for me has been the best thing for me because I feel really blessed with the life that I have, with the level of peace, the new people that I'm meeting, and all of these things. So I'm really happy that I made that move. So if you are somebody who's like thinking, should I move to this country? Should I go there? I think you should go there, even if it's just like for 3 months, just to stay and see, like, is this where I want to be? Is this where I want to live? Stay there for at least a month to 3 months to really figure out if you want to do this, because you don't have to live where you're born for the rest of your life. And it's always a good experience too. Of course, not everyone has the accessibility to travel to other countries at a whim and stay for an extended period of time. But if you can go on vacation there and really have those tough conversations with yourself while you're there and talk to the people about what they love and what they don't love, that can help you to decide whether you should move there or not. And if you don't want to move and you want to stay where you were born, that's perfectly okay too, right? I would just encourage you to just travel, explore different cultures, different things, because it really opens up your eyes, it stretches you to grow, and it also helps you to see like the lack or the excess of privilege that you have in your country and things that you like the most, you know, and don't like the most. So without further ado, here is my list of things in Canada so far that I like. One, the first thing that I really liked about Canada is that it's, depending on majority of the areas that I've been, like 80% of the areas that I've been, that major 20% has been downtown Vancouver, is that it's clean. It's clean to a certain degree, and I like the fact that people recycle and that most people throw trash in the trash bin. Very ever so often you will see people just like throwing things around or whatever, but for the most part, you know, everything is kind of clean. Like even when you go into like the malls are clean, and most people probably watching this are like, aren't all malls clean? I was born and raised in Jamaica. That's not an assurance. It's gonna look clean, but we don't know if it's actually clean. Like your clean and our clean are two different clean. So again, this is my video, my experience. So that's one of the things. I also like the bus system and the transport system is on time majority of the time. And let me tell you something, as somebody who's taken JUTC from prep school to high school and even a little bit through college, if you take a JUTC bus, I don't know what it's like now, but last year when I left, and from what I've heard, is that it's either it is on time, it's a little bit on time, like it's supposed to come at 7, but it's at 7:05 or 7:10, or it's late. It's 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours late, and that's just how it is. Like, that's just how it is. You just have to suck it up. Here, it's like, it's gonna arrive at 7, it's gonna arrive at 9, it's gonna arrive at 9:05. That's the latest, or 9:15. If it is late, it's either due to the weather or due to like some emergency or some technical issue, but it's not an everyday occurrence. I love that about Canadian transport. So if you're planning to fly to Canada and you're like, oh, I can't rent a car, Canadian transport is definitely a thing. What I would say is get like a transit card. That's really easy. Keep that one card so you don't have to get multiple cards. And it's cheaper than just using your credit card and tapping, because you're saving like $1 or a couple of cents. And every mickle makes a muckle. Everything adds up, essentially. That's what it means. So if you're trying to save while you're on that trip, then think about that. 2, I like the fact that a lot of the places you can just use your card. Like it's very cashless. That's not to say we don't have card machines in Jamaica, but that is to say like every single place that I've been to in Vancouver, tap, tap, tap. I've rarely seen people like take cash out, only when the card machine's not working, or when you're like going to a certain establishment for food and they don't take card and they take cash to evade certain taxes and other reasons. If you know, you know, right? Or services, but mainly it's all card everywhere you go. I really like that because it's like, it's just your card. If you know, God forbid, if you get robbed, it's just gonna be like the things you have on you. It's not gonna be your cash, so you're gonna be okay. Unless they hold you up at an ATM, but God forbid, be safe out there. Next, is my next point is safety and security. Not to say nowhere is 100% safe, but coming from a society in JA where it's like you've gotta watch, you have to have your head on a swivel 365, even when you're driving and you're supposed to be driving properly, you have to like watch your head to see if other people are driving properly too. Safety and security here is, and also depending on where you live in Canada, where I live, from my experience, is very safe. People are not a lot of crime happens, and if it does, it's like, oh my god, you know. But for me, that also does not mean that I relax. Like, I'm not one of those people who are like, I'm gonna leave my door open. No, everything have to lock, everything have to close, everything. That's me. And whenever I walk down the street, because like, again, born and raised in Jamaica, I always look behind me to see if somebody's following me. I always make sure that if my phone is in my hand, which I try not to have it, I have like a claw hand, because like when you're like, la la la, somebody can just take your phone, somebody can just take your necklace. I've gone downtown for groceries. I know the drill. I know you hide your jewelry, you do all these things. And that's not to say there aren't safe places in Jamaica. It's just that you have to be very you have to be very security conscious about where you are, what you're doing, and how you position yourself as a person. And I think that's a good personal skill to have, because it means no matter where you go in the world, you're really safe. And I realize like a lot of like Vancouver born people that I've met don't really have that thing in the back of their head. They're just like, la 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 la, open the door, we're talking. I'm like, we open the door in the parking lot, we get in the car, we lock the doors, then we talk. We're not going to talk with an open car and your keys in your hand for it. No, like it's just like a different thing. But I do see why they're like that, because again, the crime rate is not so high based on what I know. Crime rate and what I've experienced is not so high. Digress. Food options. I really love food options, especially like downtown Vancouver. There's always a restaurant, there's always a new scene. And what I also like is there's always a restaurant within your price budget. So whether you like those high fine dining places, you can find them. But if you want like something that's like really homemade, mom and pop, to like, you know, make your money stretch like as far as possible, there are places like that. And I love the variety and the medium of it. So the next one is driving. And with driving, it's driving on the opposite side of the road, and there's nothing, whether it's not like a dislike or a like, it's pretty much just getting used to. So I had to get used to driving on the opposite side of the road, and I realized people in Canada, most people in Canada, apart from driving badly, follow the rules. Like in Jamaica, a stop sign is a suggestion, really. Here, it is not a suggestion, it's something that you do whether or not there are cars around. And I do follow to the T. I do drive safely. Driving culture in JA and driving culture in Canada, two different things. That's a different video for a different time. Next on my list is black hair and hair care products in Vancouver, where I live, is so hard to find, and it's so niche. I found out like the braids that are in my hair, because these are braids, these aren't my real hair, I did it myself. I went on Amazon, and even finding hair on Amazon.ca, that's a different rant. How limited Amazon.ca is. It was a struggle. It was like, is this gonna work? Is this not? A trial and error. Doing braids back in JA, it's like $200, here it's like $800, $1,000, $1,200. Like, what are you doing? Are you putting the hair within my scalp? Are you reinvigorating my hair follicle? Like, what science? Are you praying over me? What? I don't understand. But it's expensive. It almost feels like, and even nails and lashes in Vancouver feels like a luxury. Where I'm from, that's not the case in a sense. When you start earning and doing things, you can find like a lower scale, upper scale. You can do your little thing, you know what I mean? Like, girl from downtown, the lashes go all the way to the girl that go uptown, the lashes. Everybody have them lashes. Here, it's really like, it's money. It's a conscious choice in a way. For your hair as a black woman, for your nails, and for your lashes, I've just been doing my own hair because I'm not paying anybody 800 Canadian dollars to put extensions in my hair. Next thing is like finding black friends and black culture. That is like its own little niche in its way, and I'm still exploring that. I'm still trying to find it. When I came to Vancouver like 4 years ago or a couple of years ago, I could count on one hand how many black people I saw leaving the airport and going back to the airport to go back home. Now it's a little bit better, but it's still like, when I see a black person, I'm like, again, it has to do with probably where I am and where I'm located, but I'm still looking for my POC brothers and sisters. Nightlife and night culture, everything closes early here. People go to bed at like very early here. It's not what I'm used to. It's a new thing. Not that I was out, I used to be, but out clubbing like on 4 a.m. in the morning, but everything just closes early here. Netflix is different. That's my last point. Netflix, Canadian Netflix and Jamaica Netflix. Jamaica Netflix and US Netflix is obviously, those are my only two experiences. Mwah, great options. Movies, shows, and when you're in a different country, you'll see some shows that other countries don't see. Canadian Netflix, what's happening? What's going on? I thought this was a first world country. Why am I not getting Why am I not getting shows, good shows? And it's almost like, as somebody who lives on Netflix, when I was in JA, I always found something new all the time, different countries, different places. I get that in Canada, but in such like a small dose. It's just like, we don't want to spoil you too much. I don't know. And then Amazon.ca again is so limited. It's so limited. Like, when I mean, you go on Amazon.com, you type in rubber chicken slippers, you find it. You do this on Amazon.ca. I'm not looking for rubber chicken slippers, by the way. It's just an example. It's so hard to find. And so I'm just like, why? I don't understand. Why is Amazon.ca so limited? It is limited. It is limited. Yes, it has a few of like the brand name products and some of the things that you need, but if you really do an intense search and you live on Amazon.ca and .com like I do, you're gonna see the difference, especially when it comes to black products, like black hair products, like for like your scalp or for like your natural curly hair. Your natural hair is expensive. It's like, just shave off your head and call it a day. That's the vibe. I'm ranting. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. But those are some of the things that I really like and that I have realized I don't like about Canada. And one thing I do like is the quiet, the peacefulness where I live. And there are a lot of really interesting people. There's some really nice people. There's some kind people. There's some polite people. And there are people who are just mixed up in between. But life's an adventure, and I don't want my experience to like stop you from anything. Because what I may not like, you probably like. So visit Canada, see if you want to move there. And yeah, that's about it. So last but not least, don't forget to like and subscribe, share this video if there's anybody you think would really benefit from like listening to this. And what are your thoughts if you are a yachty or you're somebody from a totally different country who moved to Canada? Comment below, what are some things that you like realized that you missed and that you love? Like, I want to keep that balance going, you know? And feel free to join me next week. I post a video